Platformers are one of the greatest genres in video games. While you don't see them as often today, there's no denying they shaped gaming into the beautiful marvel that it is today. We're going to focus on 2D platformers for now, and leave 3D platformers for another list. While a few of these games are better as a whole over others, these games were ranked based on their level design, gameplay, and execution of their core platforming mechanics. These 10 games are the best platformers that gaming has to offer.
Number 10. LittleBigPlanet 2.
LittleBigPlanet 2 has a charm to it unlike many other games. Aside from having the most customization of any game on this list, it's essentially an endless platformer with millions and millions of fan-made levels and challenges to keep the game going strong. Multiplayer stays addictive, and its story mode has brilliant humor and character. It doesn't go any higher on this list though, because the actual platforming mechanics are honestly a little weak at certain points, with jumps that feel floaty and hit detection that's almost cheap. Those hiccups aside, this is still an excellent game that anyone can still jump into and have fun.
Number 9. Splunky.
It was really hard to choose between the two indie classics Splunky and Braid. While both games are excellent, Braid felt more like a puzzle game at times, and Splunky kept its platforming mechanics the focus of the game. Splunky is a game that rewards you for your exploration and patience to uncover all of its hidden secrets and passageways. The randomly generated levels assured you that you couldn't rely on memorization and familiarity to complete all its courses. While there are moments of frustration and numerous I can't do anything scenarios, it's a fun, challenging experience that embodies everything of a great platformer. Just make sure you don't steal things from the shop owner.
Number 8.
Enough talk! How about you?
Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
As the timeless classic of 1997, Symphony of the Night has an art design that's arguably one of the best ever. This platformer has a dimension no other game has, by literally flipping your expectations, and the entire game, to create a depth of level design that's unmatched. So many cool secrets, so many great bosses, a deep story, an eerie soundtrack, it's essentially the best of the Castlevania series. Perhaps an HD remaster of this classic could breathe new life into this excellent franchise.
Number 7. Shovel Knight.
Representing the youngest game on this list, Shovel Knight is one of those homages to retro games that understands what makes it special. While it encompasses a lot of what made old school platformers like Mega Man and DuckTales great, it includes newer mechanics as well, like its Dark Souls-esque recovery system and its deep power-up system. Every boss battle feels challenging and rewarding, and the story is simple but charming. The soundtrack is as addicting as platformers get, fitting so well with the gameplay and level design, with visuals that complement everything flawlessly. It's just one of those games that rewards you for digging in.
Number 6. Donkey Kong Country 2: Diddy's Conquest.
It was a tough call not to put the original DKC or the excellent but overlooked Tropical Freeze on this list, but in the end, Donkey Kong Country 2 was the final choice. Everything that made the original DKC great returned with refined level design and music that's among the best of any game on this list. Although it does ditch Donkey Kong with Dixie and Diddy, DKC 2 is a true embodiment of what makes a good video game sequel great. As the Nintendo Switch continues to build steam, let's cross our fingers for another classic Donkey Kong platformer.
Number 5. Super Metroid.
Quite possibly one of the best games ever made, Super Metroid is so deep and rewarding to play that it challenges the player to find fault. Every enemy is carefully crafted and placed, and every weapon builds Samus in a very powerful and enjoyable way. The platforming itself is well executed with great controls and level design that expands your sense of exploration. The sense of adventure never lets go as you navigate this strange world to uncover what has happened to the missing Metroid. Super Metroid stands near the top of 2D action adventure games, and we all patiently wait for the Metroid series to return to form.
Number 4. Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
While any of the original Sonic games could have made this list, Sonic 2 stands out as the best representation of what makes Sonic games great. The speed remains fast and fun, and adding Sonic's trusty sidekick Tails allows for a co-op mechanic that no one asked for, but makes the experience a whole lot better. Adding a versus multiplayer mode let friends race through levels or challenge for rings to their heart's content. Sonic's iconic spin dash is also introduced to allow players to reach fast speeds at any point. It's surprising how well this game holds up almost 25 years later, and still remains the pinnacle of the Sega Genesis.
Number 3. Super Meat Boy.
Super Meat Boy is unforgivably hard, its art style is weird, and most people who start the game surrender before they even get to the end. Hidden under all of that, though, is a near-perfect platformer. The controls are extremely precise, keeping the player responsible for their deaths. Each level is simple yet complicated enough to keep you in the right direction, and its breakneck speed will truly test your reflexes in a way that most games are afraid to. As odd as this game about Meat searching for his pink friend by sliding down walls, dodging saw blades, and avoiding salt, no one can deny the excellence of this brutal yet fair platformer.
Number 2. Mega Man 3.
The most difficult choice for this list was to choose which was the best Mega Man game. While Mega Man X is an amazing sequel, and Mega Man 2 put the franchise on the map, Mega Man 3 ultimately makes this list for its perfected gameplay, soundtrack, and level design. Adding the dash mechanic gave the series a new depth that challenged how to navigate levels and dodge attacks. Each level is equally challenging, and the new robot masters are intimidating and fun to fight. The music is among the best of the series, and adding Proto Man to the game made it more and more enticing. Mega Man 3 is engaging, rewarding, and simply very fun to play, and it came very close to taking the top spot on this list.
Number 1. Super Mario World.
Super Mario World is 2D platforming perfection. While it's debatable on which Mario game is the best ever, Super Mario World embodies what makes Mario platforming better than any other franchise. Every level is given so much care and attention to detail that playing each level feels like a reward unto itself. The game expects you to experiment by giving you power-ups like the cape to fly to different locations, introducing Yoshi allowing for new ways to handle enemies and jump to new areas, or giving you levels with multiple outcomes depending on how you traverse them. Its sprites are colorful and bright, and its 16-bit visuals still hold up as a graphical marvel. Super Mario World is still a masterpiece over 26 years later, and it is the best 2D platformer of all time.